The future of business analytics is being created by our customers. And the way that's really worked is that after they've created such success with extending the boundaries of what they've done in the past, they've really started to explore out the outer reaches and going beyond what was formerly possible. And so what we have done is looked at what they're doing, and in looking at all the different kinds of analysis techniques they're bringing to bear, our technologies are building to support those technologies that they want most.
I've been hearing very consistent feedback from our customers about the key things they're concerned about when it comes to our technology and data processing. And the top three I hear consistently are arbitrary scale, the need to scale to hundreds of terabytes, petabytes of data without limit. The desire to process on their data wherever it is, because not everything is inside the database. There's data that may be on the file system. There's all kinds of places the data may live, and being able to tap into all that data effectively. And then the third is to be able to write in the language of their choice, whether that's SQL, whether that's languages such as Perl, Python, C, or even mathematical languages such as R. And the combination of these is really exciting, and we're building this into the next generation of our product.
A very large social networking company that has millions of customers online is a customer of ours that has already broken the boundaries of big data analysis. They're currently doing in 7 racks of equipment 400 terabytes worth of processing, over 1 trillion rows of data, and they're adding 10 billion rows a day of new data to that system. So now that they've got that tackled and they're using SQL and the analytics capabilities that their analysts needed, they now have a cadre of mathematicians that they're hiring that are doing more advanced work with the system. And so when these people look at the problem, they need to use languages that are the language of mathematics. So they are using R, they're using MapReduce algorithms, and what we're working with them on is to implement a whole set of artificial intelligence type classification algorithms and others within the data that's already within the data engine. So by doing this kind of work, we're making it much easier for their mathematicians to express the kind of algorithms they'd like to apply against this data.
People are using these things to pull out interesting business value from the data. So, for example, if I thought I wanted to do some data mining, I might want to do an advanced multilinear regression on some of my data. With a traditional system, I'd have to pull all my data out of the database and put it in some tool that knew how to do that. But with large data, that's just not feasible. By building the analytics into the database, we can do that type of work on the data in parallel, so you can get the answers you need in a timely fashion.
And so another of our customers is a very large-scale internet company, and they are a B2C provider to many millions worldwide. And the key thing about them is it's all about scale. They also have a tremendous need to do operational analysis of the details coming out of their engine. So what they have is a problem that scales to petabytes and tens of petabytes. And so the challenge that presents is both on the big data isn't a problem. We have to make sure that the data management part of this is manageable. And then additionally, when we talk about processing the data from where it comes into the engine, anytime you touch the data, when you're talking tens of terabytes a day that are coming in, if you touch the data, you should add value to it. So having intermediate systems all touching the data and doing things to it just is too deep of a pipeline. If the pipeline of processing is this long, then we have to shorten it to where only the parts that add value are being done.
Fundamental to Greenplum's data processing vision is the idea that data has weight. Hundreds of terabytes or petabytes of data isn't moved around easily. So it makes a lot more sense to move the processing to where the data is, to the data processing network, then to extract the data and move it around. And that's why we believe that tying these together in the Greenplum data processing approach is the best way to do this.
We have a new paradigm that lets people speak in the languages they know and use the big data they'd like to use in ways that they understand. And so to do this effectively, we have created an open API, a new interface, a mechanism that lets partners and customers get at their data without having to deal with putting it into a container that is really opaque and not working for them.
The thing about Greenplum that every customer wants to get out of it is competitive advantage. By being able to store more data than they could ever store before, and access that data very quickly and do complex, interesting queries against that data, they get information on their enterprise they never had before.
At Greenplum, we're inventing the future with our customers. So the problems of the past, where the limitations of the database have been the biggest constraint to doing business, have been removed by a new take on the database. We feel that the time is now for a new kind of data processing engine, and at Greenplum, we're here to provide it to you.